how should we react when someone makes an innocent mistake, but that mistake negatively impacts us and other people's lives? Given that time moves only in one direction, and we can't rewind it, once someone has made a mistake, we can't rewind and go back. Most of us, our response, our reactions to things that other people do are sort of rooted in this fantasy that somehow, if I'm angry enough or hold a grudge enough, or can get the person to grovel in apologies enough, that somehow it will rewind and undo whatever they have done. But time moves only forward, which means whatever someone has done, we are here now. Sometimes that mistake can be, we can't rewind it, but it could be undone. Someone stole something. They could give it back. Right? I mean, something as simple as that. You stole this person's shoes. You get caught, you give them back. Shoes are back with the rightful owner. End of dilemma. But in most cases, that which happens isn't as simple as returning a pair of shoes back to the rightful owner. A lot of times what's gotten taken from us is our trust, our inner confidence, our love. And it's very difficult you can't just give that back. Now, when someone makes mistakes, whether an innocent mistake as in they didn't know what they didn't mean to, really was just an accident, or they meant to, either way. From the perspective of the one who has been hurt, negatively impacted, all that we need to do is forgive. Those of you who come to satsang frequently will know I'm a big proponent of forgiveness, and I don't mean this lightly. I don't mean it in just forget and move on type of way. I mean it in a very clear way, which is that we need to forgive first and foremost so that we are not held hostage by what was done to us. The longer we hold a grudge, the longer we wait to forgive, the more of an impression that is making on our psyche. The deeper we are being molded by it. And so for our freedom, for our spiritual, emotional health, well-being, for us to live in the love and joy that we are meant to, we forgive, because whatever else someone has done is their karmic package. They're gonna have to answer to it. They're gonna have to deal with the fruits of the seeds they have planted. That's how karma works. But that's not up to us. That's up to them and the law of karma. So us forgiving them doesn't absolve them of what they've done. it just frees us from that bondage. It frees us from being stuck to what they did. And then, if there are things that we can do to heal, we do those. But as far as the person, the question said, what should be our reaction when someone has done this? Well, if we're one of the ones who were injured or harmed or impacted, we forgive first and foremost. If we're someone who has watched it happen, if we are just someone who's aware that it has happened, try to help those who were negatively impacted, help them to forgive. The one who did it, help that person. That person's got two things to do. That person has to make as much amends as possible, even if I am walking down the street and I accidentally trip you. Like I didn't mean to. Maybe I was wheeling a suitcase or something and I wheeled it in such a way that you tripped over it. Maybe I accidentally stepped right in front of you, causing you to trip. Even though I didn't mean to do it, my very first reaction needs to be to bend down and help you get up. Standing over you going, oh my God, I'm so sorry, oh my God, I'm so sorry, doesn't really do you much good. The person who has done this, well, they need to first see how they can fix it. What way do they have to fix it? Sometimes you can, sometimes you can't. It depends what it was. But to the best of their ability to see how can they fix what they've done. The second thing that they need to do is to connect with and honor the one who was hurt. And this is where the apology comes in. Even if you didn't mean to do it, a lot of us think, well, I didn't mean to. Why should I be sorry? I'm sorry doesn't mean I'm a horrible person. I'm at fault. I meant to. I'm sorry means that you are hurt. Knowingly, unknowingly, on purpose, by accident, that you are hurt saddens me. That I may have played a role in it, knowingly, unknowingly, purposely, by accident, saddens me further. I'm sorry. So if you're just a witness to this, you can actually help both sides do what they need to and move on. Too many of us get stuck in the mistakes that others have made and in the mistakes that we make. And that's the last and third thing that the person who did the mistake needs to do, which is forgive themselves. The person who was negatively impacted needs to forgive. But the person who did it also needs to forgive themselves. Because we hold on. Oh my God, I can't believe I did that. I'm such a horrible person. The overwhelming vast majority of things we do that negatively impact others are things we do without meaning to. Very few of us wake up in the morning and go, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to really hurt that person. Very few of us wake up and plot and plan and figure out, how can I really hurt someone else? We don't think like that. We're all just doing the best we can in our own karmic package, with our own ego issues, our own fears, our own desires, our own patterns. And along the way, we're clumsy. That's all it is. We're clumsy. Stuck in our own egos, stuck in our own patterns, stuck in our own stress. We're clumsy, we're unskillful. And so when we are clumsy and unskillful in our words and our deeds, we fix it as quickly as we can. We apologize. And then we forgive ourselves so that we can move forward. You know, it's interesting, a lot of times in here we talk about the person who was hurt having to forgive. But it's just as important as the person who hurt someone, especially when it was by accident, to forgive yourself. And it becomes very difficult if, by the way, the one you hurt hasn't yet forgiven you. It's a lot easier to forgive ourselves if that person forgives us. It's a lot harder to forgive ourselves when that person doesn't. But we still have to. Because we're here on our own karmic journey, again, doing the best we can. So whether that person forgives you or not, offer it to God with prayers for strength, for clarity, for wisdom, for skill and for grace to not be clumsy and unskillful in the future, to not act out of ego and fear and anger and patterns. And we offer it to God. And then we move on. Because just like none of us should be stuck based on what someone did to us, similarly, we should not be stuck based on what we did accidentally to someone else. We're all learning, we're all growing. We're all doing the best we can.